Hey everyone, and welcome back. So by now, you should have signed up for Figma. It's really straightforward. I usually just use a Gmail account or whatever account that I'm using if I'm working at a different company. But when you come to Figma for the very first time, what you're going to see is this screen. This is kind of like your dashboard. So let's go through all the different things you can do here. So these are some basic files they set you up with. Over here, I have a shared file, so we'll get into that later, but we have your colors, we have Figma basics you can go in and learn about. You have wireframing in Figma, you have prototyping. So they have a bunch of different things that you can already access. They kind of give you these little starter kits. Now, if we look to the left, we have our little account section. So if I go and click that, I'll see my email here, I'll see my name, I'll see all these different things that I could use, like especially if I'm in a team or if I'm working with an organization, a lot of that kind of stuff will be here. And if I download any plugins, I don't have any installed on this account since this is my test account, but if you have any installed plugins, they're going to show up in this area. And if you're part of any team, generally any file contributions will be here. So since I have a Figma basics resource file for you all, that's going to be my shared file to myself so that I'm using. So I'll teach you how to use shared files as well. So right now I only have Daniel's team and Daniel Schifano's team. So I really don't have any teams created because, I'm not on a team right now. I'm just working solo. And I know most people will do that on their personal account. So no need to worry about that. We also do have search. So if you want to search for a particular file, if you have like 100 files or even like 20 files, it's easier to search for them. Or if you need to search for people in your organization, really easy to search for them. You can even search based off of community if you wanted to. And that's the next thing we're going to get into, which I think this is one of the most amazing features that Figma has. You can use this community little tab over here to find different plugins. You can learn about different files that they have that you can duplicate. So let's go in and see what we can find for wireframes. So I'm just going to click wireframes over here. And if you notice, you'll see all these different files and plugins. You can sort by one or the other. So if I wanted to, say, use this user flow kit, I would just open it up. I could like it if I wanted to, or I can duplicate it. So I've duplicated this. And now, as you can see, this is the file and it's open. Now, this may be a bit confusing, but here, all I would need to do is I'm just going to go back to this little button at the top here and click back to files. And you'll see this next tab, the drafts. So this is where all my drafts live. And drafts are essentially just little files or big files that don't have a project. Now, I duplicated that file, and that's what you're going to be doing with the files and resources I give you. So if you can see right here, Figma Basics is a file that I have. And I also have user flow kit. So if I wanted to create a project, I would just come over here. So this is called first project. If I wanted to, I can even create a new project. I can just say this is test. So I have test project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my drafts. I'm going to click this. I'm going to open it up. So it's opened up in this tab. And I'm going to click this little drop down. And I'm going to click move to project. And over here, I can select which project or I can search. So I'm going to click test and I'm going to move it. So right now you'll see that it's in your test project. So if I click that, I can see that little check mark. We're good to go. So when you do get a file in the resource section, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go to the file because you won't be able to edit it right away. You're going to have to click this drop down, click duplicate. And once you duplicate it, you'll have to go to your drafts and you'll see it in your drafts and you can go and move it anywhere you want. Now, we can see that I have my project here. I have another project. We have our drafts. You even have teams. You can create new teams if you want to. You don't necessarily need to create any teams especially if you're using it personally for yourself. But that's another option that you definitely do have. And that's it for the basics of your dashboard.